ॐ दक्षिणस्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताः स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्णपाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्. We were in the 57th stotra, and I'll just read the stotra and then we'll go to where we were in our last session. The 57th stotra reads, Maharshihi Kapilacharyah Kritagno Medinipatihi Tripadastridashadhyaksho Mahashringah Kritantakrit. So we had completed Maharshi Kapilacharya, Kritagnya, and then 533 Medinipati, then Tripadaha also. We had completed Tripada also. Okay. Now we have to go to the next Nama 535. Tridasha Adhyaksha. Tridasha Adhyaksha. So the jiva goes through three states of the mind called as the Jagrit Dasha, the Swapna Dasha, the Sushupti Dasha. We call them Avasthas, Avasthatrayas. So, who is this Lord Vishnu? As consciousness, he is none other than the Avasthatraya Sakshi. Lord Vishnu as Atma, Brahman, is Avasthatraya Sakshi, the one who is in and through all the avasthas, but who is still not affected by any of the avasthas. Lord Vishnu as consciousness is the Jagrit Jiva. That consciousness itself manifests as the Swapna Jiva. The same consciousness manifests as the Sushupta Jiva, but this Turiyam Atma is unaffected by any of them. The dashas change, the avasthas change, but I, the avasthatraya sakshi, does not change. And I, this Atma, who is the avasthatraya sakshi, is Lord Vishnu as consciousness. Similarly, he is the Sattatma, who is the sakshi of the Sthula, Sukshma, and Karana Prapancham also in the Samashti. If you take the total Samashti, Bhagwan Vishnu is the Avasthatraya Sakshi. He is that existence behind the Sthula, Sukshma, and Karana Prapanchas also. Therefore, he is called as the Tridasha Adhyakshaha. Tridasha Adhyakshaha. Okay. Then, of course, another meaning also is given by Bhagwan Shankaracharya, but I think this is enough. Avasthatraya Sakshi Rupena Ishvaraha, okay, Hriddeshe, in this heart, present as that consciousness which is Avasthatraya Sakshi. Then the 536 Nama. Mahashringaha. Shringaha means a horn. The one who has a very, very strong and big horn. Now, this refers to the two avatars. One is the Matsyavatara, in which this Matsya had a long single shringa, or the one who had a horn, to which a boat was tied, and Maharishis, the Saptarishis, were rescued from deluge. That is what is said. Also, as Varaha Avatara, in that very snout of the wild boar, which looked like a big shringa, like a great horn, the whole earth was saved by Varaha Avatar Rupi Vishnu from the earth, who was actually captured by Hiranyaksha and hidden under the sea. And therefore Mahashringa refers to none other than the avatars of Lord Vishnu in the form of the Matsya Avatara and also the Varaha Avatara. And also Mahashringa. Shringa can also mean a peak, which is a peak. So the Himalayan peaks, which is Lord Vishnu, therefore he is Mahashringaha, and also the North Pole, which is indicated by Meru, is also his abode, and therefore Mahashringa can mean these two places also, the North Pole and the Himalayas. But you can remember that these two names are talking about the Avatara Leelas of Lord Vishnu. Then Nama 537. Kritantakrit. Krita Antakrit. Bhagwan Vishnu is the creator of this entire universe. And this universe is what? Kritam. That which is the product. That which is created. Kritam. And Lord Vishnu also Kala Rupena understands when this Kritam Jagat has to be withdrawn. What is the right time to withdraw this Jagat which has been created by him? So, Krita Antakrita, the one who also ends or resolves his own creation. Lord Vishnu creates every kalpa, the universe in every kalpa in the beginning, supports that kalpa, supports that universe, sustains it, and at the time of resolution, resolves the entire universe. And therefore, he is called as Kritanta Krit also. Krita Anta Krita, the one who destroys or resolves his own creation. Like we see small children, they're building hills and homes and castles in the sand, on the banks of on the seashores when they're playing. And when the play is over, they just kick it or they destroy it themselves. Like that, Lord Vishnu also, who has created this whole universe, also knows when that universe has lived its existence and when it has to be resolved. Another meaning which is given by Bhagwan Shankaracharya is that Lord Vishnu is the Lord of death also. Lord of death, because brings an end to Lord Yama also in the form of moksha, moksha phaladata. In the form of mukti, Lord Vishnu can end the pasha or the strings, or it can end the Lord of death or death itself in the form of moksha. And therefore he is also called as Kritantakrit. Bhagwan Shankaracharya has given a grammatical explanation for that, but we'll not worry about it. Remember Kritantakrit to be Lord Vishnu himself knows when to resolve the whole universe which he has himself created. Then we go to the next stotra, stotra number 58. महावराहो गोविन्दः सुषेणः कनकाङ्गदी गुह्यो गभीरो गहनो Shuktashchakragadadharaha. So here some of them are for Upasana. Some of the names are talking about the avatars. It's a kind of a mixed verse. So he says 538. Mahavaraha. Maha means great. The great boar. Mahavaraha. And this is actually a particular avatara of Lord Vishnu, which I have already explained to you, called as Varaha Avatara, in which Bhagwan Vishnu, in the form of the Varaha, the great boar, rescued Mother Earth from a demon Hiranyaksha. Therefore, he is called as Mahavaraha. Then the next name, 539, Govindaha. We have seen this name earlier also. Govindaha. Go has many meanings, as I told you in that name also. Go can mean Vedas, go can mean cows, go can mean the earth also, go can also mean the Indriyas. The individual Jnanendriya, Karmendriyas also can mean go. But here, Bhagwan Shankaracharya explains Govinda in this particular nama, in this particular nama is the one who is known through the Vedas, through the Veda Pramana. Govinda also as an avatara of Lord Krishna, the one who is the one who took care of cows as Gopala. That also is there, yes. But at the same time here, the one who is revealed through Veda Pramanas. Vedas are the Pramanas by which consciousness is revealed. The real nature of Lord Vishnu is revealed by Vedanta Pramana. So that Lord Vishnu, who is revealed by the Vedas, therefore he is called as Govinda. And how does Shankaracharya Bhagavan explain it? Gobhihi Vanibhihi Vedyata iti. Vedanta Vakyaihi itiva Govinda. Vedanta Vakyaihi Vedyata. The one who is known through the pramana of Vedanta. Therefore, he is called as Govinda. And of course, Bhagwan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita makes it very clear, that this is that Vidya I gave as Ishvara, as Vedas I gave it right from Vivaswan to Ikshvaku to Bhagwan Rama. So that's what he says. So here also, this is something which is revealed by Lord, who is revealed by the Vedas. Whereas in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna says, I was the one who revealed the meaning of these Vedas. This particular Atma Vidya was given from the tradition, it came from the tradition of Vivaswan to Ikshvaku, etc. That means Lord Vishnu is revealed through the Vedas, and Lord Vishnu himself is the revealer of Vedas also. Then comes the 540th Nama, Sushenaha. Sushena, the one who has got a very powerful and a good army. Okay, Shobhana Sena. Yes, yeah. The one who has got a Shobhana Sena. All the Devas are in the Sena. Okay, Deva Senadhipati is Lord Subramanya. So the one who has a divine, wonderful army. Therefore, Lord Vishnu, whose army is a beautiful, wonderful army. So he's called as the one with a very good army. He's called as Sushena. Army does not mean only fighting. All those devas who are presiding over as functionaries for every law of the universe, because of which the whole universe is functioning so beautifully. So Sushena means Lord Vishnu has all the devatas like an army who are literally controlling the running of the entire universe in a clock-like precision. Therefore, Lord Vishnu, the owner of this army, He's called as Sushenaha. Then 541. Kanakangadi. Kanakangadi means what? Kanakamayani angadani asya. Angadani means armlets. The one who is wearing golden armlets. This is the for the sake of upasana, for those bhaktas who want to see Lord Vishnu, not as existence consciousness, but those who want to see him in a name and form as an alambanam for their upasana. In many ways, Lord Vishnu is described Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Hasta, Padma in his hand. That will also come later. So this is something golden amulets he's having, or golden armlets he's having. So therefore he is, for the sake of upasana, the one who is pictured like this by his devotees. Then 542. Guhyaha. Guhya means secret. Lord Vishnu is a secret because Lord Vishnu can't be directly seen like this and say, oh, this is Vishnu. Since Lord Vishnu is Sukshmat Sukshmataram Nityam consciousness existence, since Lord Vishnu is the Upadana Karanam manifesting as Sarvagata Satrupi Atma everywhere, whatever we see is Lord Vishnu. The whole universe is a manifestation of Lord Vishnu. But if I see the whole universe and ask, where is Lord? Where is Lord Vishnu? He cannot be pointed out like this is Lord Vishnu. We can only say this is also Vishnu, this is also Vishnu, this is also Vishnu. Everything in the universe is Vishnu. We can say that. But we can't pinpoint. Then how do we know where this Lord Vishnu is? How do we know that he is Sat, Chit, Ananda Rupi Atma? He is Sat Rupena, Satta Pradayaka Rupena Vartate. That he is there everywhere in the entire universe. How do we know? We only know it through the Veda Pramanas. So this is another Paryaya Pada for Govindaha, the one who is a secret, but the one who is revealed only by Vedas and Vedanta. Therefore, he is called as Guhya. And that Lord Vishnu is available in my own Hridaya Guha as that consciousness Aham Asmi. Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. The Upanishad says, Taittiriya Upanishad, the one who knows this Ishvara, this consciousness, to be available, Nihitam Guhayam, the one who is present in the Hridaya Guha as consciousness. Therefore, he is called as Guhyaha. The one who is available in the Guha, therefore, Guhyaha. Then 543. Gabhiraha. Gabhiraha. Gabhiraha means the one who is very, very profound. He's not something which cannot be taken very lightly. Gambhira also can be said. Gabhira also means Gambhira. Lord Vishnu as Parameshwara is Gambhira. So the one who is so profoundly endowed with all the six bhagas, like Jnanam, Aishwaryam, Vairagyam, Yashas, Balam, everything. So the one who is actually profoundly endowed with all the bhagas which are necessary to run this entire universe. Then 544. Gahanaha. Gahanaha means the one who is known with great difficulty. The one whose nature cannot be known that easily. Dush praveshataya gahanaha. Impenetrable, we can say. The one who cannot be known. The one who cannot be understood very easily. The one who cannot be gained very easily. Who can gain him? Unless I am an adhikari, I cannot gain Lord Vishnu. I should be a bhakta. I should be a jignasu bhakta. and a Jnani Bhakta, then only I can gain. As an Artha Bhakta, as an Artharthi Bhakta, maybe I can surrender myself and ask for material benefits. Yes, I may get them. But if I want to get Lord Vishnu himself, then I should be a Jignasu Bhakta. I should be a Moksha Purusharthi. Therefore, he is Gahana. Not easily available, not easily understandable, unless I'm an adhikari for it. I have to have the Ishvara Kripa, the Shastra Kripa, the Guru Kripa, and lastly, most importantly, Atma Kripa. To know Lord Vishnu. So, he's not easily gainable. Therefore, he's called as Gahanaha. Then 545, Guptaha, same as Guhya, the one who is hidden, the one who is not obviously manifest as any object, the one who is as though hidden. Everything is Lord Vishnu. Everything manifests because of Lord Vishnu. Everything is manifest in Lord Vishnu. But still then he is Gupta. Because he's not available for words. He's not available for objectifying through any sense organs. Therefore, he's called as Guptaha, because it cannot be objectified, because it's a very subject consciousness. And how is Lord Vishnu known? By an adhikari, through the Veda Pramana, Shastra Pramana. Therefore, again, he is Guhyaha, Gahanaha, Govindaha. All these mean that which is not easily gainable other than by Vedanta Pramana. Then 546. Chakragadadharaha. Chakragadadharaha. Lord Narayana is here. Lord Vishnu or Lord Narayana is described here with the form Chakra Gadadhara. Two hands. In one hand there is Chakra, in another hand there is Gadha. One hand is showing the Abhaya, one is showing the Varada. Varada Hasta, Abhaya Hasta, Chakra and Gadha. Of course, then we can give other things also in his hands, depending upon how we want to see our Ishta Devata or how we want to see Lord Vishnu. So, Bhagwan Shankaracharya here gives another meaning for chakra. Chakra, he says, it stands for the mind, mana, whereas Gada stands for buddhi. So, the one who has mind and buddhi in balance, chakra standing for the mind, and Gada standing for the principle of buddhi. So, with the mind and with the buddhi, all the vyavaharas of the jivas happen. Same thing here also. No? We wield our mind, we wield our buddhi to conduct all the vyavaharas. Similarly, Lord Vishnu, chakra representing the mind and Gada representing the buddhi. That buddhi is the one who is managing the sthiti of the entire universe the way it has to be managed. Then we go to the next one now, next stotra. वेद्याः स्वाङ्गोजितः कृष्णो दृढसङ्कर्षणोच्युतः वरुणो वारुणो वृक्षः पुष्कराक्षो महामनाः. So here Vedhaha, Bhagwan Shankaracharya says here, Vidadhati srajati iti vidhata vedhaha. We have seen the name Vidhata earlier, creator. So Vedhaha again means the creator. Vidadhati srijati idam sarvam. Okay, idam sarvam, all this entire jagat srijati, the one who creates, manifests. Iti vidhata vedhaha. So he is that order in the universe which creates, sustains, and resolves the universe. and that is what is called as the Vedaha. Then Swangaha. Swangaha. Swangaha means here the one who is Swatantraha, the one who does not depend upon anything else for creating this universe. As Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. Ekam Eva Advitiyam Brahma, as one consciousness. Of course, Maya being his Shakti, which is not the Paramarthika Satyam, which is not the absolute truth. The only thing that is there is this consciousness, Lord Vishnu. And without the help of anybody, without the help of anything, Lord Vishnu creates this entire universe. If you remember, we saw a set of names earlier: Karta, Karma, Karanam, Karanam. So Bhagwan Vishnu is the Karta or the Karanam himself. Bhagwan Vishnu is the Kritam or Karyam itself. Bhagwan Vishnu is the Karanam itself. So all the Karakas necessary for any karma, it is Lord Vishnu. That is what Lord Krishna describes in the 4th chapter in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi. The whole yajna is also Lord Vishnu. The Karta is Vishnu. The Ritvik is Vishnu. That ladle which you used to offer the Havis is Vishnu. What is offered is Vishnu. What is to be gained at the end of a yajna is also Ishvara, Lord Vishnu. So all the karakas of any karma, karakas means the accessories that are necessary. You need a doer, a karta, minimum 2 karakas are needed for any karma. Karta is needed, karma is needed. Then of course you need an instrument. Sometimes instrument also you may not need. If I have to go somewhere, going is the karma, I have to go there and I am the goer. For that karma and karta is enough. But then I have to do something, I need an instrument, karana. That's why we saw that set of names sometime back where Lord Vishnu is described as the karta, the karma, the karanam, everything. Similarly here, Swangaha, the one who does not depend on anybody else. Swayameva karyasya karane angam sahakaroti iti swangaha. This is what Bhagwan Shankaracharya says. Does not need any instrument. Swangaha means he himself is the instrument. Does not need any other instrument. Independently, swatantrena. Ekameva advitiyam Brahma Ishvara swatantrena, without expecting any other instrument to help. Bhagwan creates this whole universe. Bhagwan manifests as the very laws of the universe. And all those laws which are maintained by all the devatas, that's why we called him Sushenaha, the one with a wonderful, efficient army of functionaries. So he is Swangaha. Next, 549, Ajitaha. Ajitaha, the inconquerable. Nothing can conquer it. Nobody can conquer it. Why? It is one consciousness, the ultimate truth. He is the Paramarthika Satyam, Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma Atma. There is no second thing. When there is no second thing, who is going to conquer whom? Okay, so Bhagwan is the one who is never defeated or conquered by anybody else, because there's no second thing to conquer. The Asuras thought that they could conquer the Devas, but here what is said is, that is why Bhagwan, that's why at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishnaha, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhavati Bhutihi, Sri Vijayo Bhutihi. Wherever Lord Krishna is there as Bhagwan Vishnu, okay, then there is no question of any kind of a defeat. The one who is indefeatable, the one who is inconquerable. केनापि अवतारेषु न जित iti ajita. In any avatara, Lord Vishnu came as many avatars. In any avatara, nobody was able to vanquish him. All the asuras and adharmic people who were trying to vanquish him in any avatara, they were not successful. Whichever may be the avatara, Lord Vishnu came out successful. And as the very existence and consciousness, being Ekameva Advitiyam, not having anything else, anybody else, Lord Vishnu is one and the only, Purna Anantam. Lord Vishnu is the Ananta, infinite Atma without a second one. Then 550 name, Krishna. We have seen this earlier also. The one who is attractive, the one who attracts is called as Krishna. And that time in that particular Nama, earlier Nama, Lord Krishna was also talked about as an avatara. But in this, the same name comes again. And how Bhagwan Shankaracharya interprets is Krishna Dvaipayanaha Krishna. See, this is the beauty of reading the Bhashyam, the same word, but how it is explained. Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, Lord Vishnu manifested as Vyasa Rishi also. Krishna Dvaipayanaha Krishna. Krishna Dvaipayana. The name of Vyasacharya was also Krishna. And he was born in a Dvipa, in an island. Therefore, he was called as Krishna Dvaipayanaha. So, Krishna Dvaipayanaha Krishna. Lord manifesting as very Lord Vyasa himself. So, Vyasa can be also taken as Maharshi Vyasa is also taken as avataram of Vishnu. Sometimes we call certain avatars as Amsha avatars. Certain avatars are called as Purna avatars. And, people like Vyasacharya, Kapila Muni, etc. are considered to be Amsha avatars. They are considered to be the Amsha avatars of Lord Vishnu. And therefore, it says that Bhagwan Shankaracharya says Vyasa is none other than Lord Vishnu, Narayana himself. And 551st Nama, Dhridaha. Dhridaha. Dhridaha means the one who is unshakable. Kutasthaha, the one who is firm, the one who cannot be shaken by anything else, by anybody else. He is Dhrudaha. Swarupa Samarthyadehe Prachutyya Bhavat Dhridaha. Swarupa Samarthyam. He has got the Swarupataya. Samagra Samarthyam, Samagra Viryam. And Lord Vishnu, Sve Mahimni Tishtate. Therefore, nobody can disturb him. There is no question of moving away from his Swarupa. As Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma Ishvaraha, there's no question of chuti. There's no question of moving away. There's no question of degeneration from his Swarupa. Nitya Shashvataha Purana. And therefore he is Dhrudaha. Ever remaining the same. Without undergoing any swerving or any change from his Swarupam. Then 552 Sankarshanoच्युतः Sankarshanah Achyutah. Sankarshanoच्युतः means Sankarshanah and Achyutah. Sankarshana means the one who attracts, like Krishna, the one who has a great akarshanam, the one who attracts, and Achyutaha. We have already seen Achyutaha, the one who never moves away from his Swarupa. Achyuta can also is the same as Dhridaha. There is no chuti for whom. There is no wasting for whom. There is no vyaya for whom. Avyayaha, Achyutaha, Dhridaha, all these namas talk about Bhagwan Vishnu, Atma Swarupena, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupena. There is no swerving, there's no question of any change from the Swarupam. There is no Prachyuti from the Swabhavaha. Swabhava means what? From the Swarupam. And therefore he is called as the one who is Achyutaha. Achyutaha. Okay? And Sankarshanaha means the one who attracts everybody. What is the meaning of that? Because whatever we want in this universe is nothing but Bhagwan. Correct? I want money, money is Bhagwan. I want name and fame, Yashas is Bhagwan. I want Aishwaryam, I want power, Bhagwan is power. I want moksha as a moksha purusharthi, Bhagwan is moksha. I want to know as a jignasu, I want to know Ishvara, that is Lord Vishnu. I want dharma, I want to attain dharma, punya papa, that is Lord Vishnu. Whatever we are attracted towards in this entire universe, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, purushartha rupena, whatever we are going after, whatever we want is nothing but Lord Vishnu again. Therefore, he is the one who attracts us in one form or the other. Then 553. Varunaha. Varunaha can mean two meanings. Okay, so Varunaha means here, the setting sun who conceals his rays is also called as Varunaha. Varuna Devata, the lord of the oceans, the lord of water, is also called as Varunaha. Therefore, he is here. Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, Swarashminam Samvaranat Sayangatah Suryaha. Sayangatah Suryaha means the setting sun. What does he do? Swarashminam Samvaranat. Swarashminam, the one who literally folds up all his rays at the time of sunset. Sayangata Surya. Therefore, he is called as Varuna. Varuna also is the lord of oceans, the lord of all aquatic plants and animals. So, both names can be taken. Lord Vishnu himself is manifesting as Varuna. Then, Varunaha. Varunaha means the son of Varuna. Varuna means son of Varuna, Varuna again. Then, what is the meaning of son of Varuna? Certain Maharishis, like Agastya Maharishi, Vashishta Maharishi, they are called as Varunaha. Bhrigu also, Bhrigu Vai Varuni, he was also called as Varuna Putraha. Here he was Varuna. So, one or two Maharishis who manifested as the progeny of Varuna, they are called as Varunaha. Then 555. Vrikshaha, the one who is stable like a tree. A tree wavers, it moves in a storm, but ultimately the tree is steady. So the one who is steady, standing like a vriksha. Then 5, Kutastha also you can say Dhridaha, Kutastaha, we saw similar vriksha. 556, Pushkarakshaha. Pushkarakshaha. Pushkarakshaha means the one who is all pervasive. Here the meaning given is, we have already seen Pushkarakshaha earlier as the one who has the eyes of the eyes as lotus leaves. The lotus petals like eyes, the one who has. But here Bhagwan Shankaracharya says all pervasive. Pushkarakshaha means all pervasive, and Pushkarakshaha means the one who shines as consciousness in the lotus of the heart. The one who shines as in the lotus, in the Hridaya Pundarika Madhye, the one who shines as that very consciousness. He is nothing but Pushkarakshaha. Now we go to the 60th stotra. Bhagavan Bhagahanandi वनमाली हलायुधः आदित्यो ज्योतिरादित्यः सहिष्णुर्गतिसत्तमः. This is a very famous of the stotras, isn't it? Sometimes this is repeated also. Many times it is repeated twice when Sahasranama is chanted. So, Bhagavan, the one who has the 6 bhagas. We already saw that, isn't it? Bhagavan, the one who has the 6-fold vibhutis in total, in totality, samagra rupena, the 6 bhagas which are there. Therefore, he is called as Bhagavan. He is called as Bhagavan. We have seen this word many times. Bhagaha, Bhagaha. That means the one who can remove the bhagas also. What is the meaning of this? The world is also full of bhagas, isn't it? If Bhagwan is full of bhagas, his manifestation also has the same bhagas in some quantity or the other. But what happens? Samhara samaye, at the time of pralayam, the whole universe loses all its Aishwaryam. All the bhagas are lost. Bhagwan does not lose because Bhagwan's nature is those bhagas. Whereas Aishwaryadikam samhara samaye hanti iti bhagaha. Okay? Not only Ishvara, we the jivas also have some bhagas. We also have some name, fame, Aishwaryam, Balam. We also, have money, resources in various ways. But when I die, what happens? All my bhagas are gone with this body. Correct? When the whole universe is gone, samhara samaye, all the bhagas that are accumulated by all the people, all the bhagas of the earth, of the jivas, everything is withdrawn. Therefore, he is called as Bhagaha, the one who is the giver of the bhagas to the universe and the one who is the remover of all the bhagas at the time of samhara. Anandi. Anandi means the one who is Ananda Swarupa, Purnatva Swarupa, Ananta Swarupa Atma, Anandi, the one who is Ananda Swarupa. Therefore, he is called as Anandi. He is the one who is Anandi. He is nothing other than Ananda Swarupa. That is why we have in Taittiriya Upanishad, Bhagwan or Atma is described as Raso Vaisaha. Okay? Rasam hi evam labdva anandi bhavati. The one who's abiding in this Rasa Swarupa Atma is a Purna Purusha, the one who is having Purnatvam or Ananda. So Anandi means Purnatva Swarupa Atma. Then 561 name, Vanamali. Vanamali, the one who wears Vanamalas. Okay, Vana here can mean any plants, leaves and plants and flowers together, Vana. The one who wears varied kind of garlands, including lotuses, leaves, many different kinds of flowers all together. So Bhagwan Vishnu represents the Vanasampat, the fauna and flora in the forest. The one who represents all the resources or the sampat that is there in our natural vanas forest. Vanamala asya asti iti vanamali, the one who wears vanamala. And it is just supposed to represent that Bhagwan Vishnu is the adhipati of all the panchabhutas. All the panchabhutas are like a garland in his neck, from which the whole plant universe, the animal universe, the entire universe with varied kind of organisms, beings comes into existence. Therefore, he's called as Vanamali. We can take it as for our Upasana as the one who is wearing varied flowers and leaves around him. And if you want to go a little deeper, the one who has all the Panchabhutas, in his control. He is literally wearing the Panchabhutas as a garland and manifesting as the Panchabhautika Prapancha. Then 562, Halayudhaha. Halayudhaha. The one who is having Hala, the Halayudaha. Hala means what? Plow. The one who is having plow as his Ayudaha. This talks about his avatara as Balarama. Balarama avatara, where Balarama was said to have Hala as his Ayudha. Halayudha in the form of, Balarama avatara. He is called as Ayudaha, Halayudaha. 563. Adityaha. Adityaha means the son of the one who was born from Aditi and Kashyapa Rishi. Kashyapa and Aditi's son. Aditi's son Adityaha. The one who is the progeny of Aditi and Kashyapa, he is Adityaha. This name specifically refers to Vamana Avatara, because Vamana was born as Aditi and Kashyapa's son. Therefore, if you remember the previous name, he was also called Upendraha. Okay, the one who is the younger brother of Indra, as Aditi and Kashyapa's son, as Vamana Avatara, Lord Vishnu as Vamana, and therefore he is called as Aditya. Aditya also means Surya, which will come in the next name. 564. Jyotiradityaha. The one, Lord Vishnu, who resides in the very solar disk. Jyotiradityaha. Jyoti Rupena, Aditya Rupena. That is why sun is worshipped as, Pratyaksha Narayana, Surya Narayana, because we see that sun, we can objectify sun. So sun is worshipped as Surya Narayana, Pratyaksha Ishvara here in this world. If there is anything which we want to see as Pratyaksha Ishvara, it is Lord Sun. Lord Sun, in whose orb Bhagwan Vishnu is present as Jyotiradityaha, and therefore he is, worshipped in the form of sun. Therefore, Surya is called as Surya Narayana. Therefore, we have so many hymns in the Vedas for Surya also, as the very Vishnu himself. We can see Lord Sun as Surya Narayana. Sahishnuhu. Sahishnuhu, the one who endures everything. What can he do? Poor Vishnu. The whole universe and all of us, the jivas, are his creation. Naturally, the one who has to endure everything. He has to endure off and on adharmic people creating problems. He has to endure injustice. He has to endure all the problems that the jivas create for the universe and the environment. And therefore, he says, the capacity to put up with everything. If you remember earlier, we saw a name called Sahaha, the one who can tolerate, the one who is very, very tolerant. Same thing is Sahishnuhu. Sahamanaha, the one who is able to tolerate, the one who has a great endurance. Okay, so we also have, that is Bhagwan's quality only. Some of us have a great endurance. Prithvi Rupena also. Prithvi Rupena, Lord Vishnu has great endurance. Don't we do so much of injustice to Prithvi, our Mother Earth, environmental wise, every way? But still, no complaints. Sahishnu, Sahamanaha. And some of us also jivas. Many of us have a lot of Sahishnuta. We face, we tolerate a lot of things. So, Sahishnuta, that is, he's nothing but Sahishnu. Then, 566, Gati Sattamaha. Gati Sattamaha. The one who is the ultimate goal. The one who is the ultimate goal. There is nothing other than that. Ultimate goal. That is a final goal. The ultimate goal. Gati Sattamaha. The one who is the final and the best ideal goal of every living being. Moksha. Moksha Rupena. That is the accomplishment we really should have. We are trying to accomplish so many things. Good, doesn't matter. In Vyavahara, fine. We have different, ideas of achievement, accomplishment. That's fine. But ultimately, that is all very, very anityam. All our accomplishments are anityam. What is the ultimate accomplishment? Understanding myself to be not different from Ishvara, not different from Lord Vishnu. Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. Ishvara is the ultimate goal of a moksha purusharthi. That is the ultimate goal, the best goal, the only refuge, because there's nothing else. All other refuges are very, very unstable. No refuge is going to give me refuge forever. So he's the ultimate end. He is also the way, he's also the path. We have seen that, isn't it? He's the ultimate goal and he's also the margaha. He's the end, he's the margaha, he's everything. He means what? Lord Vishnu in the form of Atman is the ultimate goal. Then we'll go to the next verse, 61st verse. Sudhanva khanda parashur daruno dravina pradaha divasprik sarvadrik vyaso vachaspatirajo nijaha. So here, Sudhanva. Sudhanva. Sudhanvam Dhanva. Sudhanvam is the one who carries a great bow. Bow. Ayudhas. Some things are being talked about now. Khanda Parishuhu, Sudhanva are all talking about the Ayudhas of Lord Vishnu. So here, Sudhanva refers to his Rama Avatara. In Ramavatara, Bhagwan Vishnu carried a wonderful bow called as Kodanda. Isn't it? He carried that as Kodanda. And therefore, he is called as the Sudhanma. And Lord Vishnu himself has the Shanga as the bow. Shanga is the bow carried by Lord Vishnu, the great bow. Therefore, he is the one who has the one who carries this great bow, the one who has this wonderful bow with him. Shanga Rupena, or else even as Kodanda Rupena in the Ramavatara. Okay, then the next word is Khanda Parashuhu. Khanda Parashu. Parashu means axe. Khanda Parashuhu means the one who has a very, very punishing axe. The one who says, I will teach you a lesson with the axe. And therefore, here he says, Shatrunam Khandanat Khandaha Parashuhu Asya. Therefore, he is called as Khanda Parashuhu. And this talks about Parashurama Avatara. If Sudhanva talked about Ramavatara or referred to the bow of Lord Vishnu Ashranga, here it is talking about Parashurama Avatara, the one who came with the Khanda Parashu, the axe which literally cut off all the adharmis. He was the son of sage Jamadagni. Sage Jamadagni's son Parashurama was also considered to be one of the 10 avatars, Dasha avatars of Lord Vishnu. Then comes Darunaha. Darunaha. So, Bhagwan can be very, very, absolutely fierce when it comes to protecting Dharma. Bhagwan will not worry about anything. He may be a, Bhagwan may be having the rupam or manifestation of a very compassionate mother-like picture, but when it comes to maintaining dharma and punishing the adharmic, Lord Vishnu is absolutely, what you call, doesn't bother about it. He's very, very fierce, and the one fearlessly destroys all the adharmic people, and therefore is called as Darunaha. He does not look this way, that way when it comes to destroying the adharmics. Whatever is necessary, whatever tactic is necessary to destroy the adharmis, definitely Lord Vishnu will not hesitate. So he is absolutely concrete and fierce and up to the point when it comes to destroying something when absolutely it needs to be destroyed. So he is fierce when it comes to the matter of destroying adharma and protecting dharma. Then 570 Nama. Dravina Pradaha. Dravina Pradaha. The one who blesses us with all resources. Dravinaha. Dravinaha means, it can mean resources, it can mean money, it can mean wealth, anything, any kind of wealth. Dravinam. Okay, Dravina means any kind of a wealth can mean. It need not be only money, any kind of a wealth, any kind of resources. And while praying, when we pray to Lord Vishnu, he is, since Samagra Shri is his. Since Vishnu is the one who has the bhaga of all the resources, he is the one who can give Varadaha. We saw that name, Varadaha. The one who can give whatever we want. We want Dravina. Yes, we'll get it. We pray for money, name, fame, children, property, earth, whatever in the form of Dravina means, in various forms, prosperity that can be given to us. Then the next 571st name is called as Divasprik. Divaha Sprik. That means what? The one whose head is in the heavens. This talks about the Vishwarupa or the Virat Swarupa of Lord Vishnu. When Virat Swarupa is described, it is said that Lord's or Ishvara's head is in the heaven, touching the heavens. That is how it is described. The Virat Purusha's Angas are described as where is his head, where are his bahus, where are his eyes, where are his ears, like a human form, the total, and that is the total, the Sthula Prapancha or the Virat Swarupa, Vishwaha, is described in that way. So, how is it described? Whose head is in heavens. So, Diva Sprik means the one who is having his head in the heavens. That means he is everywhere. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. All the lokas are nothing but manifestation of Lord Vishnu. I think we have come to the end of the session now, so we'll end with this. Okay. Nandantu sadhaka sarve vinashyantu vidushakaha avastha shambhavi mestu prasannostu gurus sada sarve bhavantu sukhinaha sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukkham apnuyat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Tat Sat.